What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Kicking It with Crowder, guys. This is episode 105, and it is brought to you by F&M Cigars, guys, right over in Phoenix City, across the 13th Street Bridge. You go over there. Brad Williams is the owner. He is a great guy. If you're into smoking cigars, guys, they are your place to go in town. Columbus, Georgia, or Phoenix City natives. So, guys, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight on episode 105. And you're right, I am wearing my Atlanta Braves hat, guys, and I got my Atlanta Braves jersey this year from the Phoenix City flea market out there, and if I would have known that all I would have had to do was go out there and buy a magical Freddie Freeman jersey, I would have bought that shit a long time ago, because I did buy, I got the hat earlier on for Christmas, and I got the Freddie Freeman jersey. What's up, Brock? I got the Freddie Freeman jersey from the flea market, and hey, what do you know? They get hot after the All-Star break, and they win it all, man. They're just basically the hottest team in baseball. Sometimes it's not the best team who wins; it's just the hottest, and they just pushed all the right buttons and bringing over those four outfielders: Rosario, Duvall, Soler, and Peterson really cemented, the Atlanta Braves spot at the top of the NL. And then just the series with the Astros just came down to who had the better bullpen and who had a little bit of better starting pitching, and then timely hitting. And Soler had a great series. Freddie had a good series. Dansby came through clutch. So at the end of the day, the Atlanta Braves are your 2021 World Series champs. And I'm here to tell you right now, the Atlanta Braves are going nowhere. They're here to stay. This team is here to stay. They're going to re-sign Freddie Freeman, of course. They have Ozzie Albies under contract for another 5-6 years. They're going to sign Dansby long term, most likely. Austin Riley looks like the centerpiece at third base in the future. So your infield solidified. You have Travis Denard coming back. And you have a couple, you have Contreras, who could be the next catcher for the Atlanta Braves. And then you look at the outfield. Okay, so you have Ronald Acuna Jr. He will come back at some point next year. He is going to come back, and he'll be better than ever. He's going to be your starting center fielder, your starting right fielder. And then you have a couple guys, Christian Pache, the all-world rookie who we've had the last 2 years, hasn't played much, but when he has shown glimpses. He's a very speedy guy, very toolsy guy. Drew Waters, I think, is the better outfielder between the two. I think if you had to pick one, I think you build with Waters and you try to put him in left field. And then you have to think between Soler, Peterson, Rosario, between those four, you got to think the Atlanta Braves try to bring back at least two of them. I think Soler is a must-bring-back guy. I think Jock's a great guy to have in that locker room. Duvall's been familiar with Atlanta. So I'll be interested to see who all they re-sign. And then Mike Soroka, he's going to come back. Max Fried will be back. Ian Anderson. I think Charlie Morton, I know, is back for next year. So do they go after Max Scherzer? That's my thing. The Braves and Liberty Media, they don't want to spend very much money. They don't like spending a bunch of money. Yes, they will sign. They gave Freddie the 7-year, $135 million deal that's expiring after this year. But at the end of the day, they got to fork up a little bit of money. They just won the World Series. They just got a bunch of revenue from the World Series. They just they got a lot of exposure right now, and the thing is, the Braves have to spend a little bit of money to compete in this day and age. The LA Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, these big markets, they're going to spend money, and they're going to spend a lot of it. So the Atlanta Braves have to spend money. They defeat the Astros 4-2 in the series, 7-0 in Game 6 in the clincher. Max Fried was remarkable, guys, giving up 4 hits. Jorge Soler started off the party with a 3-run home run, and it still hasn't landed. Dansby hit a 2-run home run in the 5th. Freddie doubled home another run to make it 6-0 in the 5th, and then in the 7th inning, guys, he put the cherry on top with a home run. Freddie Freeman, he also was the one that caught the ball from Dansby Swanson to get the last out, so he held on to the baseball. So that's going to be worth a lot of money one day, or maybe just Freddie will hold on to that one day and just, maybe hand it down to his son or something like that. So that's just awesome that the Atlanta Braves were able to do this. Jorge Soler, who came over hitting less than 200 from the Kansas City Royals, he is your 2021 World Series MVP, most valuable player, guys. And like I said, it's just the beginning. I'm so happy for the city of Atlanta, the Braves fans who have been there through a lot. This team has been good. This team has been bad. This team has been mediocre. This team has been up and down, up and down, up and down. But the last few years, they've really put a great team together, and they're just able to knock down that door. And you have to look at the 18, 19, and the 20, those failures. Really, push this team to be able to hoist the trophy and be able to say you're world champions. So, like I said, guys, it feels really, really good right now if you're an Atlanta Braves fan. And like I said, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. The Atlanta Braves are going nowhere fast. They're going nowhere fast. And I want to talk a little bit about the Georgia Bulldogs, guys, but I do have some breaking news coming through to me right now. UGA outside linebacker Adam Anderson, big 4-star recruit coming out of Rome High School, won a state championship in high school at Rome. He is a projected first-round pick right now. He is being investigated for a rape charge right now. He has not been arrested. I repeat, Adam Anderson has not been arrested, but he is kind of suspended indefinitely until UGA can figure out what the heck is going on right now. Not great timing. Of course, UGA is 39-point favorites this week versus Missouri. Yes, you heard me right. 39-point favorites against Missouri this week. But Adam Anderson will not be on the football field, number 19 for this Georgia Bulldogs team. And Brandon, I know you probably heard the news. Adam Anderson out for the Georgia Bulldogs right now, pending investigation, and you just have to hope that this is not true. This is maybe, I'm not sure. You just have to hope and pray that this is not true, and this does not ruin this guy's. He has a bright football career, and then also losing him on this UGA defense would be huge as well. He's a big cog in the machine. I don't think he's as important as Jordan Davis. But Jordan Davis, Adam Anderson, Nakobe Dean, those three are very, very important on that UGA defense. So, very frustrating. It's always something, it seems like, with the University of Georgia. It's always something happening with a key player. Todd Gurley, of course, his senior year was suspended for a bunch of games for some autograph memorabilia stuff going on. But UGA, guys, they beat up on Florida last week, guys. They beat up on Dan Mullen's now 4-4 Florida ball club. Yes, you heard that right. Florida has lost 4 ball games. They've lost to Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, and who else they lose to? Well, I know they lost an upset game a few weeks ago as well. So at the end of the day, this Dan Mullen team, they're falling off a little bit. Ever since that win versus UGA last year, this program has been going downhill, and UGA has been going up, nothing but uphill. And they're coming, and Georgia is ready, and they're not scared of Dan Mullen ever. I'm telling you that right now. UGA is the clear leader to win it all this year. I think that's 100%, without a doubt, the clear number one favorite right now is the University of Georgia Bulldogs. They're the number one team in the initial college football playoff. The number 2 is Alabama, and I think it's a big gap right now between Georgia and Alabama. Can Alabama beat Georgia? Of course. They wouldn't have to, play a, pretty much perfect game, I think, to do it. But I think Alabama could beat Georgia. Yes, it can happen. But I'm picking Georgia right now. If I had to pick a team right now to get to the national championship and hoist the trophy, this Georgia defense separates themselves from the rest of the defenses in the NCAA. I just think this defense can get it done on all 3 levels. They can get after the quarterback. Their linebackers can cover in space, come up and hit you. Their safeties can get all over the field. They have a lockdown corner in Keely Ringo. I mean, they just play great football from the very first guy on the roster to the very last guy on the roster. The scout team, they do a great job with the scout team players, getting these guys ready to play each and every week. I mean, they just get it done on all three levels. And yeah, you're right. They're going to have to throw the ball against Alabama, but and that's the thing. Can they run the football? Can they run the football against Alabama like Florida was able to do earlier in the year? I think that this Alabama team has gotten a little bit better from just a few weeks ago when they gave up all those rushing yards to Florida, and then they lost to Texas, a 2-loss Texas A&M team. But it's just crazy how the College Football Committee kind of hey, Bama lost to Texas A&M, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a bad loss. It was, we'll still put them at number 2. I had Michigan State at 2. I had Bama at 3. So I mean, I didn't have it too far different. I had Cincinnati at 4. They have Oregon at 4, who lost to Stanford. At the end of the day, Cincinnati went on the road and beat Notre Dame. That win means something to me. And I do think Cincinnati deserves to be in that top 4. Now, I'm not saying Alabama doesn't deserve to be in the top 4, but, how I had it was Georgia, Michigan State, Bama, and Cincinnati. That's how I had it personally. But we'll see. I mean, if Alabama wins out, they play Georgia, they win, they're going to be in. If they don't beat Georgia, they're probably not in. Unless it's like a really, really close game. But at the end of the day, I just don't see Alabama getting in with 2 losses. I see them getting in with 100%. Cincinnati has to kind of be rooting for Alabama to lose. If Alabama loses, I think Cincinnati is that team that slides in. Oregon is a team who's going to lose. They're going to lose another game to me. They're going to do it at some point this year. They're going to either lose in the Pac-12 championship or they're going to lose beforehand. I just have a feeling about Oregon this year. I think they're a 2-loss football team. Ohio State, and this is what matters to me. One of these teams is going to come out of the Big Ten. Okay, is it Michigan? Is it Michigan State? Is it Ohio State? It's probably going to be Ohio State, but this could be Michigan State's year. I don't know. I just think when it all boils down, I think if a 1-loss Ohio State team, if they win the Big Ten, they will get in, and Michigan State will be out. Bama loses, they're out. So you'd have Georgia, you'd have Ohio State, you'd have Cincinnati possibly, and you got Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma hasn't looked great, but Caleb Williams at quarterback really, pushes the needle a little bit for me. Their defense has struggled at some point, and you're right. I don't think Oregon wins out. Oklahoma could win out. I mean, they could. They have a tough schedule. They play Iowa State. I think Iowa State could beat them in that game. And then they're going to have to play an Oklahoma State, a really good Oklahoma State team, and then they're going to have to play a team in the Big 12 championship. So yeah, Oklahoma, I just don't see them with their defense. Just is too sketchy for me. I don't see Cincinnati losing. As long as Cincinnati can beat SMU later on in the year, and Notre Dame keep winning and SMU keep winning, I think that helps Cincinnati. But yeah, you're right, Tony. It's crazy right now with the College Football Committee. Georgia, Oklahoma, Oregon, Cincy, that's right now. But I don't think Oregon and Oklahoma wins out. I can't see the rest of your comment. I tried to. But basically, at the end of the day, I think everything will take care of itself. You have to go out there and you have to win ball games. Like Cincinnati can't lose a game. They have to win out. They have to win out. If they lose, they're definitely not getting in. Alabama has to win out. They can't lose to Auburn and then beat Georgia in the SEC championship and get in. I just don't think that happens. And then Oregon, like I said, Oregon can't lose. If Oregon wins out, they're in, it looks like to me. Ohio State, Michigan State, that's going to take care of themselves. And then Cincinnati. So it's going to be a nice month and a half. I can't wait. I really can't wait. UGA and Bama on a collision course. It just seems to me that's what's going to happen. We'll break down the rest of the top 10 guys later on. So thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Be sure to hit that like button down below. Be sure to share this out so more people can see it. And then, guys, if you haven't already checked out my Kicking It with Crowder football page, but guys, check it out. I'm on Facebook. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, basically anywhere you get your favorite podcast, guys. Kicking It with Crowder. That's where you can find me. The NFL had some crazy news this week. Aaron Rodgers had tested for positive after the media kind of had thought that he was vaccinated, but it turns out he wasn't vaccinated. He was immunized, or whatever the hell that means. But it just sucks for the NFL because you're not going to get to see that marquee matchup this weekend with Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers versus Mahomes for the first time. I was looking forward to that matchup. Also, Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad came out and posted a bunch of stuff on his Instagram, showing Odell Beckham open and Baker Mayfield just not getting him the ball. It's kind of petty. I kind of liked it. But at the end of the day, I don't know why the Browns didn't try to move Odell Beckham. There's plenty of teams. The Saints right now could use Odell Beckham. The Packers could use Odell Beckham. The Chiefs could use Odell Beckham. The Chargers. I mean, there's a bunch of teams. Patriots. I mean, you just name off a bunch of teams who need a receiver. The Falcons. I mean, Falcons don't have a receiver. I mean, you need somebody. You need somebody who can stretch the football field. Odell Beckham hasn't been able to do it in a few years, but I don't think he's kind of fallen off as much as everyone else thinks so. He's only been in the league 6-7 years now. Seems like he's been in a lot longer, but he's a playmaker when you get the ball in his hands. I know last year when they went up and beat Dallas, and he had that great game before tearing his ACL. That's probably his best game in a Browns uniform, but hasn't really been able to do much since. So, and then you got the Henry Ruggs situation. Just awful news coming out of Las Vegas with Henry Ruggs, who's a Montgomery, Alabama native, right down the road. Went to Robert E. Lee. Played his football at Alabama, and got in the car wreck. Prayers to the family of the woman who was tragically struck by Henry Ruggs and did succumb to her injuries and passed away. Her and her dog. Just awful news. I mean, I hate it. Please pray for Henry Ruggs. I know a lot of people are going to sit here and throw stones at him, but man, he needs a lot of thoughts and prayers right now too. I know the family does. I know he ruined this person's life and he killed this person, but I'm just saying Henry Ruggs is going through it, man, right now. And his football career is not, you shouldn't even be thinking about his football career. I mean, he's facing 2 to 26 years in prison. So my prayers are with him. I hate to see that. I just wish it would have went down differently. I wish he would have called an Uber. I wish he would have called a taxi. I wish he would not have been driving. Reports that he was driving 150 miles per hour. Just gut-wrenching news. Rest in peace to the victim who was struck. And, man, just a rough week in the NFL. Bunch of big news coming out. And it just sucks right now that Henry Ruggs news was gut-wrenching. Aaron Rodgers news, he's out versus the Chiefs sucked. OBJ, you want to see him on the football field. That's not good news. And then, you got the Jets and Colts tonight, and Zach Wilson's out. Mike White's in. Mike White throws for 400 yards in his first start in the NFL. So we'll see what he's able to do tonight versus the Colts. I kind of like the Jets plus 10 tonight. This Colts team, they're like 2-5, 2-6. Something like that. I don't know exactly what their record is. The Jets aren't very good as well. They've only beat the Titans, who are 6-2, by the way. But I think the Jets keep it close tonight. I think a 31-24, 31-27, 30-27, something like that. I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game. In the 27-24, something like I said, 30-27, somewhere in that range. But look for this look for this Jets defense to play pretty well tonight versus Carson Wentz. I like the Jets plus 10. I'll probably take the Colts by a field goal, but I like this Jets team tonight plus 10. So we'll talk about that later on in the show, guys. So hey, don't forget to comment down below. Don't forget to like, guys. Share down below. Kicking It with Crowder. My page is up on Facebook. We have over 1,000 likes. Be sure to check that out. And then also, guys, I want to thank all of my sponsors. So this episode was brought to you by F&M Cigars. If you're a cigar smoker here in the Columbus, Georgia or Phoenix City area, you definitely have to check out F&M Cigars, located on right across the street from the 13th Street Bridge and the Piggly Wiggly right there on 13th Street. All right, so if you're in the Columbus, Georgia area, tell them Kicking It with Crowder sent you down there, and you went and go ahead and check out some cigars. They have some really good flavors and some really good cigars down there. Okay. Also, I want to thank my other sponsors. So F&M is my sponsor tonight, but I'd like to thank Ivy Park Sports Bar and Grill. We'll be there next Thursday night, and then also we'll be there doing a live show plus trivia next Thursday night, guys. And then we'll another one of my sponsors, Greer Home Solutions. If you have any home renovations, pretty much anything done around the house, they can do it from a really small job to a big job. They're very, very good. Call Jacob Greer today with Greer Home Solutions. And then my last sponsor is Crazy Daisy Incorporated. Kimberly Jordan, she is the owner and operator. She does a wonderful job with weddings and just venues and things like that. She's a florist, and she does really amazing work. Be sure to check her out as well, guys. And be sure to check me out on Apple. I'm on Spotify. I'm on the iHeartRadio app. I'm also on Twitter. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Pretty much wherever you get your favorite podcast, guys, you can find me as well. So, thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate all your comments, all your likes, all your feedback, joining in on the conversation. Tony, I really appreciate you, brother. So, all right. We talked a little bit of college football. We'll talk the top 10 here in a little bit. But before we move on, I got to talk a little bit about the Braves real quick. We've talked about the Braves at the beginning. Want to talk about the Braves real quick. The Braves are going nowhere, guys. They're here to stay. They have a really, really good team, a good core, a good nucleus. I like our chances in the NL East in the next few years. Yes, the Philadelphia Phillies are probably, in the Nationals, are probably our biggest foes, but I think that we have the roster and the farm system to keep this up the next few years. Acuna and Mike Soroka, two guys who were not even on the postseason run this year, will both probably be back next year, and hopefully, cross my fingers, both of them will be healthy next year, and that will be a big return. Ronald Acuna Jr. not only in center field, but also at the top of this lineup with guys like Ozzie Albies, Freddie Freeman. I mean, you're talking about what's up, Zach? A really, really talented club, 1 through 9, and you got your infield set up, so of course they're going to re-sign Freddie Freeman. You got Albies, you got Dansby, who I think is either a free agent or coming up on free agency. They'll re-sign him. Duvall has a few years left on his contract, on his rookie deal. And then you'll have Acuna, and then you'll have, I'm not sure what they do with Ozuna, guys. If I had to guess, they're probably going to part ways with him. They won a World Series without him, and of course he got into a bunch of legal issues. So I will say he's probably going to be he's probably not going to be returning, but we'll see what happens. I'm not real sure. And then if we do not go, who do we go after in free agency to get that's not on the ball, that's not on the team? We'll see about that. Like I said, with Rosario, Peterson, Duvall, and Soler, I think they keep 2 out of the 4 of those guys. I know a bunch of those guys are pending free agents, so like I said, I think they keep 2 of those. What do you do with Pache and Waters? Do you try to move one for an arm, or do you try to put both of them maybe in the lineup? I think Drew Waters has the higher ceiling for me. I think he's going to be able to get it done. I think he's a major league hitter, and he's from Atlanta area, and he was supposed to go to UGA, but got picked in the second round a few years ago. So I'm glad he signed with the Braves. But he's a guy who I'm really, really excited for in that outfield. So yeah, if you got Acuna coming back, and then like I said, if you could re-sign maybe Soler and Peterson or Rosario, and then you have Waters or Pache coming back up, you have you have some other utility type guys who can play in the outfield. And then do we go after Max Scherzer? Max Scherzer, guys, of course, is going to be a free agent. He'll be 37 years old. He's probably going to win the NL Cy Young for this past year. He could be a guy maybe who gets a 25-year, 2 years, $50 million, 2 years, $45 million to come pitch and maybe win a World Series with the Atlanta Braves with this great lineup. I think that he'd have to be excited for that. Max Scherzer is a name. I mean, I haven't read any reports. I mean, I'm just basing it off of, hey, Max Scherzer is going to be a free agent. He's pitched in this division for a while. He got traded to LA, of course, but I think Max Scherzer could be a guy who we could add into this bullpen. Go with Charlie Morton, Soroka, Ian Anderson. I mean, you've got 5 guys who can get it done each and every night, and then you keep the bullpen intact. Luke Jackson, Will Smith, and Matzik. Those are the 3 guys for me. Rodriguez and Chavez are 2 guys they could bring back as well. So the Atlanta Braves are going nowhere. They're going to re-sign Freddie Freeman. Alex Anthopoulos did a great job at the trade deadline. I expect him to do a great job in this offseason. And would not be shocked if the Atlanta Braves are sitting up here right now next year repeating. I'm not joking. They got a good team. They only won 88 games this past year. They're probably going to win more than 88 games next year. They'll probably be in the 94 to 96 win range, especially if they can add these arms. If they get Max Scherzer, whoo, telling you, better watch out. So that's the Atlanta Braves, guys. World Series champions. Chop on. MLB took the All-Star game from us, but we got the last laugh and then won the whole World Series, man. So that was dope. That was super dope. NFL, guys, like I said, it's been a rough week with the NFL. Henry Ruggs news coming out, just traumatic stuff. Was in a bad car accident. Killed the other passenger. Looking at 2 to 26 years in prison. Has a young daughter. Has a full life ahead of him. He's 22 years old. I mean, the guy is super young and just young, dumb, and a lot of people don't feel sorry for him, but at the end of the day, it's hard not to, I hate that situation happened. I really hate that happened. Wish he wouldn't have got behind the wheel. Wish that that girl was still alive. They were both really close to their homes, just a few blocks away. So NFL's also had a rough week with Aaron Rodgers. We talked about that a little bit earlier in the show. He's unvaccinated. And this vaccinated bullshit is it sucks. People should be able to do what they want to do. If they don't want to get the shot, don't get the shot. If you want to get the shot, get the shot. It should be that easy. It should be that simple. Aaron Rodgers has been having media, stuff all year and hasn't had a mask on. So now everyone's freaking out about that. Now they're all, saying Aaron Rodgers is, he's incompetent and he's a liar and all this. Oh, shut up. Just look. The guy, he said he was immunized. He went through some other treatments. The NFL deemed him unvaccinated, and he failed a COVID test. He's out for 10 days. Let's move on. That's it. He's going to miss this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and this was a 2.5 point spread. Now it's moved to 8 points for the Chiefs, and Chiefs are 8-point favorites. I'm not sure about that. I still like this Packers team. Yes, it's going to suck without Aaron Rodgers, but I think they keep it close. I like Green Bay with 8 points right there. I'm not sure if Kansas City can even win by more than that. They've struggled this year. And then Odell Beckham. You have the Odell Beckham news coming out of Cleveland. His dad posted stuff on Instagram, and now doesn't look like he's going to be playing. He hasn't practiced the last 2 days. They weren't able to move him on the trade deadline. What do? Do you cut him? Do you cut ties with him? Do you try to maybe scratch him for the rest of the year? I mean, do you try to release him? I mean, what do you do? Odell Beckham Jr. is lost right now up in Cleveland, and can somebody find him because he is missing in action. He is not making very many plays like he did for the New York Giants for all those years, and he's struggling. And then Deshaun Watson, guys. Deshaun Watson, of course, was supposed to be moved before the trade deadline. Of course, was not moved. So now Houston is paying him $10 million a year to sit the bench, which is crazy to me. Which is just unbelievable. I can't believe that that they're paying him this money just to sit on the bench. At least like let him go play. I mean, if you're going to pay him this money, I guess they don't want him to get hurt to make his value go down. I guess that's why they're sitting him, but it doesn't make any sense to me. This Deshaun Watson, it's just crazy. The NFL is top 5, top 10 quarterback is sitting on the bench healthy. It just doesn't make any sense. It's a bad look for the NFL. And Roger Goodell simply needs to do something about it. Something needs to be done. You know, if you had LeBron James or if you had Kawhi, one of these guys sitting out like that in the NBA, I mean, come on, dude. It's not going to happen. So Deshaun Watson needs to be back on the football field, and hopefully somebody trades for the guy next year. He's a great talent. I hope he gets all his civil stuff. Hopefully nothing goes to criminal, and he's able to move on from the situation and learn from his mistakes. What's up, Julian? And yeah, Georgia State, Louisiana tonight, man. It's cool, big primetime matchup. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with the Deshaun Watson news moving forward. I think a team for me has been to watch. Miami is a team to watch. Washington is a team to watch. Pittsburgh Steelers. If I'm the Steelers, I mean, you got Najee Harris, you got Claypool, you got some really talented guys on the offense. You got a good defense with Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Go get your Deshaun Watson. Like, what are you doing? Like, go get Deshaun Watson. Like, go get him. Like, Washington. Like, go get him. Like, what are y'all doing? Miami, if you're not sold on Tua, go get him. Deshaun Watson, man. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if you're able to trade Matt Ryan and maybe a first-round pick for Deshaun Watson, why not? It makes sense. Guy's 26 years old from the Atlanta area. Gainesville, I know he's from Gainesville, but just saying, the Houston Texans wouldn't take Matt Ryan and 2 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. I mean, the guy's just sitting on the bench. So, I'm not sure that's the way to go. I'm just saying, like, something to think about. But, all right, so that's the NFL stuff. The Cardinals, guys, of course, was taken down last week by the Packers. Rams won big. Tampa Bay loses to the Saints. Saints kind of own them in the regular season, but I'm sure Tampa Bay will turn it up in the postseason. Dallas is hot as can be. So the NFC, man, is stacked right now. You got the Cardinals, Packers, Rams, Buccaneers, and Dallas all up at the top with 1 loss. Tampa Bay's got 2. Saints have 2. Falcons are sitting at 3-4 after that embarrassing loss to the Panthers at home. Just 0-3 at home right now. They do get the win in England, so I guess that's technically a home win. So they're 1-3 at home. And then the AFC, huge news this week. The former running back from Alabama, Derrick Henry, goes down with the Jones fracture or whatever. I think it's the 5th bone on your foot that connects to the pinky toe that broke, and damn, I hate that for him, because Derrick Henry had already ran for 967 yards in 7 or 8 games. Like, are you kidding me? The guy was on pace to run for another 2,000 yards and have one of the best 3-year stretches in NFL history. I mean, the dude was doing stuff that, like, no one has done. No one has done in the NFL. Like, nobody. Jim Brown wasn't doing these type of things. The guy is unreal. Unreal. Okay? I love Derrick Henry. I loved him coming out of college. I don't know why he slipped to 45th overall. He was coming off a Heisman Trophy. They said he couldn't do it. He's proven everyone wrong. They said he wouldn't play running back in college. He played linebacker. He played running back and won a Heisman. The guy has been doubted. He goes out there each and every week, and he works hard, and he hate it for Derrick Henry. You hate it for this Titans team who had Super Bowl aspirations. Now, without Derrick Henry, I just don't think the Titans are a serious threat now in the AFC. And I think the team to beat in the AFC right now, top to bottom, is Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. They have the best team in the AFC right now. The Bengals had their chance to go 6-2 last week. They lost to the Jets. So they're now 5-3. They play a 4-4 Cleveland team in a huge matchup. You got the Browns at 4-3, the Chargers at 4-3, Steelers are 4-3. I mean, this is going to be. What's up, Eddie? Yeah, we did. We talked the college football, man. But hey, you can run it back. You can go ahead and run it back a little bit. We just talked about the the college football playoff, kind of the top 6, and just to give you a review, how I had it was I had Georgia, Michigan State, Alabama, Cincinnati. That's kind of how I had it. I think Cincinnati, is rooting for Bama to lose so they can kind of sneak in. I don't think Oregon's going to win out. I don't think Oklahoma's going to win out. So, that's kind of where we sit with the college football. And I do have we're about to talk some notable matchups real quick, Eddie. So we'll talk about some matchups real quick, and we can talk a little bit of college real quick. Adam Anderson, outside linebacker, of course, from University of Georgia, is being accused of rape right now and is kind of suspended indefinitely while they investigate this. He hasn't been charged with rape, but not good. Coming out of Athens, one of their top defenders, and honestly, he was going to be a first-round draft pick most likely next year. So you just hope that this maybe isn't true, and maybe he's going to be able to be reinstated. But I'm not going to speculate on it. I don't know any of the specifics. So let's just hope that, like I said, it's not true. So we got Oklahoma at 2. Oklahoma is a different team with Caleb Williams. I definitely understand your ranking, having them at 2. I just don't see them going undefeated. They have a tough stretch. They have Oklahoma State, they have Iowa State, and they have the Big 12 championship. I think they're going to lose one of those games, and I don't think that their resume is good enough because they've had these close games to lose the game and still get in. So Oklahoma, to me, has to go undefeated to be able to get in, Eddie. And then Alabama at 3. And Cincinnati at 4. And what about Michigan State, man? It's Kenneth Walker. This is a team that's been running the football really well. Mel Tucker has these guys believing they can win. And they play Purdue this weekend. I expect them to win that game. So I had Michigan State a little higher, and I had Oklahoma a little lower. So that's kind of where we disagree. But hey, it's all right. You have some notable matchups this week. Ohio State, who's sitting at number 5 right now in the college football playoff. They're playing Nebraska at Nebraska. They're probably going to score like 50 points just because right now Ohio State is playing so good on the offensive side of the football, and Nebraska has just struggled at times. So I like Ohio State over Nebraska this weekend, minus 14. Kentucky, Tennessee. I was leaning towards Kentucky in this pick. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Go Braves. Let's go. Kentucky, I was leaning towards Kentucky, but the more, I don't know, the spread has swung so much in this. I kind of like Tennessee right now versus Kentucky, which is weird for me to say, but I think Tennessee is gaining momentum right now, and Heupel's going to take that out in the recruiting trail this year. Give him a couple years, I think he's going to do a pretty good job. Liberty, Ole Miss, Hugh Freeze returns to the Grove. That should be a good one. Give me 1 second, guys. You got NC State, FSU. Mississippi State, Arkansas. That's a good SEC matchup. LSU, Bama. 28-point favorites. 28-point favorites. I'm not touching that game with a 10-foot pole, but 28-point favorites is insane in that rivalry game. That's insane. All right, Julian, who you got? I can't see it. Let me see. UGA, Michigan State. Damn it, I can't see it. Yeah, I think Tennessee will be good in the next few years. I think Heupel's going to do a good job. I like that up-tempo. Neyland Stadium is huge. The crowd, the Tennessee has money. Tennessee will be good, I think, in a few years. And that'll be good for the SEC East to have Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, all there at the top. That'll be good for the East. Yeah, and Michigan State has played really well, Tony. They're going to beat you 20-17. They're gonna play tough, gritty football. Kenneth Walker's gonna run the football. They're gonna play it. They're gonna play good defense, and they're gonna win a lot of these close games. So Michigan State's been a heck of a story this year, but can they go 12-0 and then win in the Big 12 championship? We'll see what happens. I'm really not sure there. So, guys, we are at the time of the show where I make my selections for this weekend, and I want to talk a little bit about my picks last week. So, I was 10-5 in the NFL last week, guys. I was 67 and 38, guys. So, 67 and 38, and I was 10-5 on the week. So, I've improved my record to 77 and 43. So here's my picks, guys. I had Arizona beating Green Bay last week. That was a loss. I also had Atlanta beating Carolina. That was a loss. I had Buffalo over Miami, San Francisco over Chicago, Pittsburgh over Cleveland. So those are 3 wins right there. I also had Detroit over Philly. We know how that went. So 3-3. Then I had Tennessee over Indy. I had Cincy over New York, so that was a split there. And then here's where I reel off some wins. I had Rams over Houston, New England over the Chargers, Seattle over Jacksonville, Denver over Washington. So there was just 4 wins right there in a row. And then I had Tampa Bay over New Orleans. Of course, that wasn't a win. And then I had Dallas and Kansas City both winning over Minnesota and the Giants respectively, guys. So I went 10-5 on the week. We'll see how I do this week, but I am doing pretty well on my NFL picks, guys. Straight up, not against the spread or anything, but I'm 77 and 43 on the year. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games to pick this week. All right, so let's get started. Indianapolis, New York Jets. I think the Jets keep it closer than a lot of people think tonight. I think the Jets cover the +10, but the Colts are just a little too tough for me. I'm going 27-24 Indianapolis. All right. Cleveland, Cincinnati. This is a huge game for me. Cleveland sitting at 4-4, Cincinnati 5-3. I'm going to go with Cincinnati at home. Barely. I did not even pick this game till just now, guys. I literally have a couple games that I just don't know. I'm going to take Cincy over Cleveland just with the OBJ drama. Wouldn't be shocked if Cleveland came out and played well, but I'll take Cincinnati. Dallas and Denver. I'll take this Dallas defense over Denver. I like this Dallas Cowboys offense right now. They're rolling. Miami versus Houston. I just don't know in this matchup. This is a battle of 2 1-7 teams. I will take Miami just based off they're at home. Tyrod Taylor's first game back, but I'll take Miami. New Orleans versus Atlanta, guys. It pains for me to do this, but I'm going to take New Orleans Saints at home. I will take the Falcons when they play New Orleans at home, so I'll take New Orleans. I'm picking all the home teams right now. Las Vegas Raiders versus the Giants. With the Henry Ruggs situation, I think they're going to come out this weekend and play for him. I'm going to go Las Vegas Raiders over the banged up New York Giants. New England and Carolina, 2 4-4 ball clubs. A lot of people may lean towards Carolina. Not so fast, my friend. I'll take New England in this one. All right, Buffalo and Jacksonville. All right, so I'm going Buffalo in this game over Jacksonville. I like the Buffalo Bills over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Don't really have to explain that much. Baltimore over Minnesota. I'll go with Baltimore out of their break, so I will take Baltimore in that one. LA Chargers versus Philly. Give me the Chargers all day in that one, even though Philly did look good last week. Kansas City versus Green Bay. No Aaron Rodgers. I think Patrick Mahomes and this Kansas City Chiefs offense gets back on track. I'll take Kansas City over Green Bay. Arizona versus San Francisco 49ers. Could be a let-up game for Arizona coming off that loss, but they have the extra bye. Extra few days matter to me. I'll take them over San Francisco. LA Rams versus Tennessee on Sunday night. No Derrick Henry. This is pretty easy for me. I'll take LA Rams and Sean McVay. And then Chicago and Pittsburgh on Monday night. This is going to be tough for me, but I'm going to have to go with Pittsburgh in this one. Just, Big Ben versus Justin Fields. I'll take the veteran and the better defense. Just slightly better defense in Pittsburgh over Chicago. So, guys, here are my picks. I am 77 and 43 heading into this week. I got Indianapolis over New York, Cincy over Cleveland, Dallas over Denver, Miami over Houston, New Orleans over Atlanta, Las Vegas Raiders over the Giants, New England over Carolina, Buffalo over Jacksonville, Baltimore over Minnesota, the Chargers over Philly, Kansas City over Green Bay, Arizona over San Francisco, LA Rams over Tennessee, and Pittsburgh over Chicago. All right, so those are my NFL games. I want to talk real quick about my NFL locks, my college locks. So I was 31, 21, and 1 heading into the season. I want to go over my picks last week. I'll go over my winners real quick. I had Penn State plus 18.5 over Ohio State. They covered. I had UGA minus 14 over Florida, and they covered. And I had Green Bay plus 7.5 over Arizona. They won and covered. So my two losses, I had Ole Miss plus 3 over Auburn and Kentucky minus 1 over Mississippi State. They both lost, guys, so they could not have won or covered for me. They both lost. And then my push of the week, very, 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 very disappointing. FSU, guys, should have covered the game. They tried to do a little pitchy woo-woo at the end, and Clemson ends up scoring a touchdown. I had them plus 10. They lose by 10 instead of covering and giving me a 4-2 week. I was 3-2-1 on the week, so I improved to 34, 23-2 on the year, guys. But 3-2-1 last week instead of 4-2. All right, so that sucked. I hated that FSU game, that bullshit ass pitchy woo woo. I hated that. But it's okay. We've moved on. I still was over 500 last week. Went 3-2-1. I'm 11 games over 500 right now with 2 ties. So I like my chances, and I'll go over my picks right now. So I have 6 games for you guys, and I'm going to start with Wake plus 3 over UNC. I like this Wake team. Wake is more sound. They're more disciplined than UNC this year. I'll take Wake with the upset win over North Carolina. I'll take them with the plus 3 points. So, all right. So Mississippi State, guys, plus 4.5 against Arkansas. Arkansas just hasn't been playing as good as football as they were earlier in the year. Mike Leach and this has this Mississippi State team playing very well, and I'm going to take Mississippi State and Mike Leach plus 4.5 over Arkansas. Not sure if they'll get the win, but I will take them with the points. All right, Ohio State minus 14 over Nebraska. I talked about this game a little bit later on. I just think Ohio State's offense is too powerful. They're going to score too many points, and just Nebraska's not able to hang around. I think Ohio State scores 50, 56 points. Nebraska will score, 21 points or so, but 56, 21, something like that. Big Ohio State over Nebraska. Michigan State minus 3 over Purdue. At Purdue, I think this could be a trap game, but I just like this Mel Tucker team. I'm going to go Michigan State 27-20 over Purdue. I'll take Michigan State minus 3 over Purdue. Auburn goes to Kyle Field and takes on Texas A&M. I'm going to take Auburn not only in the ball game, but with the points, plus 4.5. So, guys, I'd like some SEC dogs. I'm taking Mississippi State plus 4.5, and I'm taking Auburn. I'm taking Auburn plus 4.5 over Texas A&M, guys. And then my last game, and this is just too many points for me, guys. I love this UGA team, but 39 points against a Missouri team who may be able to score 10 points or so. I just have to take this 39 points. I'm sorry. I rolled with the UGA most of this year, but I'm taking Missouri. I'll lay the 39 points. So I'm laying 39 with Mizzou. I'm laying 4.5 with Auburn over Texas A&M. I'm taking minus 3 Michigan State over Purdue. Ohio State minus 14 over Nebraska. Mississippi State plus 4.5 over Arkansas. And Wake plus 3 over UNC, guys. Those are my picks. Again, I am 34, 23, and 1 heading into the season, or heading into this week, guys. Let's hope for that 5-0, 6-0 type week. And thank you guys, as always, for following my show, Kicking It with Crowder. I really appreciate it, guys. Check out this game tonight, the Jets versus the Colts. Also, Louisiana versus Georgia State's on ESPN. And guys, I will catch y'all next week. I will be live at Ivy Park next Thursday night, guys, for some trivia in my show. I can't wait to see y'all there. I'm out. Let's go.